the top spot in the ACC, but North Carolina sitting at number 2 with a victory could find themselves in that number 2 slot for conference tournament play. Only the top 2 seeds get buys. And we are underway. Duke aggressive off of the opening kick, regains possession. Brianna, in a game like this, in these opening few minutes, what's most important for an athlete to kind of be in control of your emotions and make sure they don't get the best of you?
For me personally, I like to connect the first pass and just demonstrate a level of composure, because if you're in the midfield, you don't want to turn it over in the first 5 minutes of the game. You want to make sure that you establish a tempo. I think that can be evident for both sides. Just who gets on the ball, establishes their rhythm first. That's going to set the tone for the game.
And a B-bar looking for a through ball, headed up into the air by Tessa De La Rose. In the midfield for North Carolina, they'll give it back to Claire Gagne.
But thinking from a defensive point of view, you want to put in that first tackle, and you also want to set the tone with a strong tackle, because games like these are chippy. Both teams have something to prove while they're out there.
So North Carolina with a touch out of bounds by Duke's Cameron Roller will throw it in.
Olivia Thomas will be a good addition back here for this Tar Heel side. She's dealing with an injury earlier on in the season, but she's someone who can provide a little bit of hold-up play for the Tar Heels, because she's got such electric attackers beneath her in Olmark and Sember.
And Damon Nahas will take any returners to the lineup that he can get, right? I mean, this is a team that's seen a lot of players in and out for international play and other things. Some injuries have taken players out of the lineup, and they've had to get experimental on occasion.
I think that's the hard part about playing such a condensed schedule. Again, like you mentioned, players are out for international duty, too, being on the U17 women's national team at the World Cup right now. And you have to tinker with that lineup and figure out who are your best 11, who are going to help you win. So we're seeing a little bit of changes on the back line here with Carolina. And obviously Duke has made some changes to really put the right people in the right profiles and positions to ensure that they're working as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, that ball initially was forwarded from the back line by Caitlin Marr, making her first start for North Carolina. Gagne some trouble, but comes out and makes the play herself. Look at that ball forward. Darlene has it taken away. And a chance turned no chance for North Carolina.
Excellent recovery from Nikki Chico. Darlene is known to be a track star in high school, and she was gone, but here comes Nikki Chico just covering behind it. It was Mia Oliara who was tracking back. So for the Duke Blue Devils, they are going to have to be on their front foot, ensuring that they're checking their back shoulder, because for players like Bella Sember, she's going to be looking for that slip pass in behind to Maddie Darlene.
Aggressive pressure for North Carolina creates some space for the Blue Devils. Evan Lynch back to Leah Freeman in goal. These are two teams very calculated. They're going to pick their spots. You mentioned those through passes. It's going to, on the surface, seem like very conservative play, but that's just because these two teams are so skilled at controlling possession and striking when they can. Here's one to Oliaro. From outside the box, fires away and sails it over.
Oliaro found herself in familiar position, just with a little bit of isolation, and she's someone who's not afraid to take a shot from distance, looking for the back post just on a misplayed shot, but she's a little bit under it, and it sails over the bar.
7 goals, 10 assists on the season for Oliaro. .50-51 by the Blue Devils. Nice pass by Karina Laguerre into the box and off the end line. This will be a corner kick for Duke.
We talk about how good Kate Fossey is on the attack, but her defensive work rate is also what sets her apart. Just ability to track back and cover for Avon Alvarez is going to be huge tonight, because it's Ella Haas who is showing that isolation on that left flank and is able to create separation for herself.
Tar Heels reject the corner. Duke maintains possession on the ground, and a little chip shot, an easy save for Gagne. That was off of Graham's foot.
Just about 6 minutes into this first half, and we're starting to see the team settle in. But if you're a midfielder here, you want to get on the ball and play in a 1-2 touch rhythm, because we're seeing how condensed it is and how tight it is, because there's no space in the midfield. So again, they're going to have to find the rhythm, and by doing that, you have to play in a quick rhythm by playing 1-2 touch.
Cameron Roller handling into some space. Here's Chico. Long ball, Oliaro chasing. Pulls it in at the end line, and it's out. Thus, another Duke corner kick. Hannah Bebar issuing the service. Bebar, a grad transfer from Harvard, huge addition to this Blue Devils team. Into the box, headed out, 2 touches and wide for Oliaro, excuse me.
Looking to go up and in here just to get Carolina higher up the field, because they've been in our half quite a bit. And Duke has been aggressive going forward. They've sent a lot of their passes in behind to try and threaten Carolina's back line.
A couple of early goals elsewhere in the ACC. Florida State up 1-0 against Miami. And then Wake Forest a lead against NC State. Just 11 minutes in.
Both of those games have huge implications for the standings in the ACC for Carolina, because obviously they're seeking a win tonight to secure that number 2 position, but with a loss or a tie, they could see themselves dropping a few points.
Live ACC standings again. Duke in that number 1 spot. North Carolina even could find themselves in that 4-5 matchup, which would, with a win, possibly put them against Duke again in the second round of the conference tournament.
But as a player, you really want to fight to finish top 2, because not playing on Sunday, it is a huge relief on your legs, especially in such a tight schedule. And going into the second round of the ACC feeling rested, it gives time for the team to review film and refine just some of the details that help them win games. That makes a huge difference.
Good ball movement for the Blue Devils. Inlet pass stopped up. Missed opportunity. Good defense inside the box. Tessa De La Rose, the one to clear it out.
Duke has been doing a great job just securing the box. You're seeing a lot of their midfielders line the top of the 18-yard box, and it's allowing them to keep the ball inside the 18-yard box. And for Carolina, they're going to want to make better clearances to get the ball outside so that they can relieve a little bit of pressure in front of goal.
Another corner for Duke, already their third. Far side of the box, North Carolina pushes it away. There's Fossey on that aggressive wing defense that you mentioned. And the Tar Heels come away with the inlet pass. So Duke obviously dominating possession here. Brianna, what's North Carolina need to adjust to get more opportunities for themselves, or at least the opportunities to have opportunities with the ball at their feet?
I think for Carolina, they just have to connect the first pass, get their shape, and just to sort of expand into a bigger shape. That will allow them to switch the point, because a lot of times when they do get a little bit up the field, they're playing into the pressure that Duke has shown. And Duke has done a good job making it predictable by forcing play into numbers so that they can defend as a unit.
So now a clear takeaway for North Carolina and a chance to set something up.
But just continuing to move the ball at pace is going to help Carolina shift Duke's defense.
Long ball out of the back. Over Thomas, but that'll slow things down. She was off.
Seemed like a little bit impatient just to send that ball over, especially because Thomas wasn't onside. I'd say for her as a forward, just always towing the line and ensuring that you are an available option does allow Carolina's back line to look in behind, because her speed is exceptional.
Nice handle from Laguerre. Puts it in space, gets it right back. And there's the clearance for North Carolina, but Cameron Roller on that back line. Right place, right time for the Blue Devils. Again in the pushing third, Chico all the way toward the end line. Oliaro can't run it down.
A missed pass from Chico to Oliaro, but Duke is doing a really good job probing into the attacking half. Carolina is on their back foot right now and looks a little bit frantic from them, because they're clearing the ball as soon as they win it instead of establishing a little bit of rhythm there. I'd like to see Carolina start to press higher up, because it will allow them to win the ball higher up the field and start their transition going the other way.
There was a little bit of that in the first 5 minutes or so. They pressured a couple of times, got a possession out of it. There's North Carolina. Olmark ahead to Thomas on the ground, rolling just wide.
Good ball from Olmark to Olivia Thomas, who tries to send it to the back post. Just a low, slow roller, but had Freeman beat. Obviously off target, but you know, maybe if there's a late runner onto the back post that could get there, maybe they could keep the ball alive. But it seems that Olivia Thomas tried to make a shot, but looking back at the play, could she cut it back and connect with another teammate?
Again, Roller and Chico. The ones to handle while Duke surveys. That's off the line and out of bounds, so a North Carolina throw-in. They've been passing so crisply. That's an uncommon miscue.
You want to limit unforced turnovers in the back because it gives Carolina a chance to step up. But one of the things I was noticing about Carolina's press is how deep both Fossey and Darlene are. The front three are Olivia Thomas, Linda Olmark, and Bella Sember, but it's giving space for Duke to build on the flank. We're seeing players like Chico and Katie Groff just stepping into that space with a lot of time to pick up their head and pick out a pass.
A takeaway for the Tar Heels. Blue Devils get it right back. And now here's Chico with all kinds of space, as you were just saying. Liaro gives it right back. Chico took off without the ball. Almost had it taken away.
Hannah Bibar is going to be the engine of this Blue Devils side. She's someone who's such a technically proficient player and has a really great brain for the game. I've actually had the chance to play with her for the youth national teams, and she's playing a 6, which is a defensive midfield role right now, but she's got the ability to go forward and attack as well. And if she can get on the ball and be sort of the quarterback, the one that's establishing that tempo, the one they're playing through, Duke is going to be really effective tonight.
Ball forward and cleared out by North Carolina. We've seen them resort a couple of times to just having to bail and send it off the sideline to prevent an opportunity or an opportunity at the net or an opportunity for Duke to get a deflection for a corner. High pass from Oliaro, poked away for North Carolina. Olmark again looking for Thomas.
The problem with not establishing tempo when you do win the ball is your down numbers. Carolina's relying a lot on their transition to the attack, but in that last play when Olmark's driving up the field, it's 2v4. Duke has done a great job just getting numbers behind the ball, making it predictable, and really stifling any attack that Carolina has had.
Yeah, that comes into play on the ball that we saw earlier. Thomas put right across the face of the goal, right? It was the slow roller where, as you had pointed out, if you've got somebody streaking from behind as part of those numbers, you've got an increased chance to put that through.
But I think it starts with Carolina's defensive setup because their wingers are so deep. It's really hard for them to then join the attack when Olivia Thomas, for example, is 15 or 20 yards ahead.
Up to Olmark. Thomas, the only one ahead of her. Okay, so maybe some adjustments here by Olmark and the North Carolina attack, pulling back the reins. And LaRose, one touch. Nobody there.
This is an opportunity where someone has to step up on the flank because otherwise they're going to get played around in the flank, and it's going to allow the Blue Devils to serve the ball in behind.
Oliaro ends up with it at her feet, sidesteps Delarose. Out to the side, Devin Lynch, the intended receiver, but unable to catch up to it at the sideline. Chico reverses the field. Centered up, Lynch from outside the box, kept it low. It ricochets.
The Blue Devils are doing such a good job finding the ball in the seams. Those are the areas between the lines. So, for example, they're finding that pocket in between the three center backs in that little pocket, and they're turning and driving at the back line and looking to have shots, slipping passes in behind. For Carolina, making their defensive shape a little bit tighter is going to help them to defend as a unit. And when the ball's higher up the field on the back line with Duke, can Olivia Thomas make it predictable by forcing it one way and then pressing?
Oliaro to Mia Menestrella. Tighter structure there defensively for North Carolina. Back with it though.
There's almost 10 people behind the ball right now. I don't know if it's the nerves that are getting to the players, but it's a little bit unlike Carolina in a matchup like this.
Bars, pass on the ground, rejected.
Duke looks very comfortable in possession, and they're starting to find that bigger shape to make it harder for Carolina to cover the distance as they switch it from left to the right.
That's another one. Potential opportunity taken away by North Carolina because they've dropped back in the defense so much there. It feels like Duke is okay with that just because they're getting so many cracks at it.
For Duke, you can rest in possession. When you have the ball, you don't need to run as hard. They're just finding their positioning off the ball and ensuring that they're showing as an option, and it's allowing them to change the point of attack. And when Carolina bites, that's when you're seeing them play those probing passes higher up the field and looking for that third player combination. But we're seeing also a lot of interchange within the midfield where there's a little fluid movement. For example, you have B-Bar going into the 10 role. You've got Mia Oliaro checking down inside in the inside pocket so that she can get it, turn on the half turn, and then advance forward.
Set piece for Duke on North Carolina's defensive side.
Seems to be some sort of
player offside.
Yep, offside.
That was Oliaro.
We're just halfway through this first half, and for Carolina, I'd like to see urgency pick up because, again, this is a rivalry matchup, and you have to bring the energy to make things happen. So that urgency comes from moving the ball quicker, making sure that they're advancing as a unit, getting the back line up. These are all the things that are going to help them be more effective in their attacking third.
This feels like a more urgent possession. Maddie Darlene with it. Now maybe the Tar Heels can set up and possess a little bit for some rest or an opportunity. Blue Devils too tough defensively to allow that to happen. So it's a lot of that for North Carolina so far. It's one and done if they even get something close to a clean look at the goal.
I think there's a lot of dangerous passes that they're playing in forward, but it also comes with the movement off the ball up top. We've got a lot of stagnant movement by the forward, so can they find spaces just to create a little bit of separation so that they can get it, take a clean first touch, and then play it to someone else? But again, for Duke, they're doing such a good job just anticipating those passes and stepping in the passing lanes. And when they win it, they're immediately looking to either change the point or find someone higher up the field to avoid that section of the field where the traffic is.
Raised into Claire Gagney's arms. Not a dangerous chance there for the Blue Devils, but more of the same. At least they're getting the opportunities as compared to North Carolina.
So if you decide to press, you have to go as a unit of 11, because if one person goes out on a limb on their own, then it can create spaces that Duke can exploit.
Ari Nagai of North Carolina battled by Ella Haas for the Blue Devils. Bar finds Chico. That same open space she's occupied for much of the first half. Good step up, deflection, and a takeaway. Now North Carolina has it. Darlene has streaked all the way to the other side. Olmark ahead. Darlene into the box. Back up top, one touch by Sember, and the Tar Heels will be forced to reset. Olmark headed into the air, and Freeman goes up and gets it.
You're seeing Duke just stand on the ball with absolutely no pressure. There's really no urgency for them to advance the ball because they're comfortable in possession right now. Carolina isn't making it difficult for their back line to cycle the ball around. And if you leave the back line without pressure for too long, then they can start sending it in behind. And obviously Duke has pace up top.
Well, and it's a tightrope walk of sorts if you're North Carolina from a schematic perspective, right? Because you're not wanting to pressure for certain reasons. You don't want to get caught necessarily. But at what point, if you're North Carolina and possession becomes so lopsided, do you maybe say, okay, let's scrap that plan and start to amp it up a little bit? The cross goes to Oliaro and is defended well by North Carolina, but Duke still with a chance. Long shot into the corner. Hannah Bebar from distance makes it 1-0 Duke.
Hannah Bebar take a bow. Absolutely stunning strike from distance. Just does that little pirouette, turns, gets it on her left foot. She makes no mistake. Just hits it so cleanly into the right-hand corner of the goal. Claire Gagney had no chance for this one.
Through multiple levels, there was one pocket where Bebar could put it, and with an athletic move to square herself up, she managed to do so.
When you are on that side of the goal, maybe for Claire Gagney, she's thinking, okay, maybe this ball will be served to the back post. So her momentum took her to her right foot, where we saw her take that step. And that proved to be the difference as Bebar struck it to the right post, because the momentum was working against her.
A sensational goal by Bebar, her second of the season. You mentioned earlier in the first half about her skill set. You know, she plays that sort of controlling spot, but is certainly capable to be a more aggressive attacker. Meanwhile, substitutions for North Carolina. Evelyn Shores making her season debut in the regular season finale for North Carolina.
Evelyn Shores is a player that's going to provide a little bit of composure in the midfield for Carolina. She's someone who is the brains of the operation, who can get it, play it, keep it advancing, and she's going to allow Carolina to settle into this game in that midfield position. Similarly, we saw Bella Gattino come into this lineup, and it looks as if Carolina's in a 4-back, which is different from the 3-4-2-1 formation that they started the game in.
So Duke with possession after the Kate Fossey foul on the aggressive play. B-Bar perhaps too strong of an initial touch. Corrals it, sends the ball ahead. Another chance for the Blue Devils. Avon Alvarez defends it really well, though, and gets it out of danger for North Carolina. And now a ball forward. Darlene, with that track speed, runs it down. The cross pulled in by Freeman.
Just an excellent effort from Darlene, just to sprint down the ball, just to keep it alive. She serves the goalkeeper, but you know, those runs do matter. Just trying to get everything out of each play. Shores is someone that can play that ball in behind and help Darlene find a lot of space.
Sneaky ball gets through. Good awareness by Gagne coming off of her line for North Carolina.
As for Carolina, just coming off of this goal, this is their wake-up call for them to, again, get forward, have that sense of urgency, establish their attack, because we haven't seen it within the opening 30 minutes of the half.
Duke still content to possess, even on the back line.
Because with no pressure on the ball and a lot of space in behind, it's essentially no man's land.
Here's Olivia Thomas with her left. Freeman stops it, and it's clear.
Leah Freeman just coming up with another big save. She just shows her leadership and her confidence between the pipes. She's someone who Duke has relied on throughout the season because she does such a good job of just cutting down the angle that a player has to get a quality shot on the net.
Oliaro, couple of moves across, nobody there for Duke. Back out roller wins the 50-50 with Thomas. B-Bar grounds it. Duke again, heavy possession in their attack. And there, North Carolina finally able to control one of those deflections out of the box, at least temporarily, and a foul will slow things down to ensure that it's North Carolina possession.
Bella Gattino just sending in a good ball in behind to Olivia Thomas. She has it on her left foot. And again, just because of the defense, cutting down that angle, all she has is maybe the back post because Leah Freeman has that near post covered. Excellent save from the fifth-year Blue Devil.
Great instincts on a night where up to this point, she really hasn't had to make those snap decisions and come off of her line a lot. Quick to do so there, cuts off the angle as you mentioned.
But thinking as a goalkeeper, when you're higher up in the box, it does help you cut the goalkeeper because the goal essentially becomes smaller because you have to be really precise of where you place the ball or maybe the texture that you put on it. Are you bending it around Freeman, maybe to the near post if possible?
This is Belligatino on the set piece. Chooses to send it long. Headed away by Cameron Roller. Fossey with it at her feet. Inlet. Thomas got her head on it, but sends it out at the end line.
Just a good effort from Thomas, just trying to create something from nothing. It's a pretty heavily contested 50-50 ball that she gets on the end of, but again, Duke does a good job defending it, causing Thomas to send it wide.
Phoebe Goldthwait, the new Duke player, in. Ball by Catino, and Thomas was offside.
You can see a look of exasperation just from Thomas, trying to get on the end of those balls and behind, but just a step too quick maybe, or a step too eager with those offside calls.
Thomas, 4 goals on the season. I mean, it's something she's gifted at doing, right? Kind of being that backside finisher. But as you illustrated earlier, it feels like Duke's on top of it because they've got numbers in a lot of those situations where it's just Thomas.
Yeah, and because they're not under pressure, Duke has time to pick out a pass. And, you know, that's any player's dream when you aren't under pressure, because you can, you know, do a step over or two or send it to your teammate in behind and really make things challenging for Carolina.
Long pass again for Gattino.
Again, that's a little wasteful. I think you want to ensure that it's a high percentage pass. You know, instead of skipping it, can you just play it to the player next to her, which is Caitlin Hart? Because again, Duke is doing such a good job anticipating those long-range passes. They're stepping in the passing lane, winning it, and then going forward in attacking transition the other way.
Graham, a quick turn and ahead, but an offside for Duke. And Bree, after that last attempt for the Blue Devils, it seems to me that sort of continuing the point, they're fresher at this point in the match. They are more comfortable kind of picking their spots, going for a long through pass. As North Carolina, another near opportunity.
Yeah, but it's about handling the ebbs and flows of a game, and like I said earlier, being able to rest in possession ensures that you can pick your moment of when the team wants to go forward as a unit.
Good passing. Oliaro pushes forward into the box. It was intended for Farrah Walters. Gattino with the defense. Another cross. 2 Tar Heel players there to exit the box. Miscue, it goes right back to the Blue Devils. Oliaro, Goldthwait taps back, long shot, stopped. Great save by Gagne.
Gagne does such a good job just to get in front of the ball and knock it down. As for Carolina, just ensuring that you're following up those rebounds, because if that play's not offside, there was a Duke player just right there looking to put it away. Good decision there from Darlene just to reset the ball. I think that's what Carolina has been missing a lot here in this first half. Just if they don't see an option where they can go forward, just reset the ball, get your shape again, and then go again. Because it will allow them to rest, because they've just been chasing for 40 minutes here.
Roller pushing forward, about as high as she's been in the formation. Graham, lots of room to work with. Sends it long for Haas. Strong first touch, too strong in fact. More shutdown defense for Avon Alvarez as this one rolls in line and is out of bounds.
That was a good showing of defense there for Avon Alvarez, just staying in between the ball and the goal. She made it tough for Ella Haas to get around her. Ella Haas has been absolutely electric on that left side and has looked for those through passes between Avon Alvarez and Caitlin Mara.
And a foul on the tackle is why North Carolina's putting it in play on the dead ball there. Move back with it, one touch for Thomas. Both weight back. More pressure for North Carolina here, but crisp passing up until that point for the Blue Devils. Ashley Penny will enter, give Olivia Thomas a breather. McKenna Dominguez in for Maddie Deline as well. So those are the two who have really been running the most in North Carolina's attacking efforts.
You're coming into the game this late with a few minutes left to play. You want to make a statement, and what I mean by that is just get on the ball and complete some passes, because it will allow Carolina just to settle in, because again, the majority of this half for the Tar Heels has been a little bit frantic, and they've been overly reliant on attacking transition.
Finding some space with Emerson Elgin. Duke defenders collapse on her. Bounce finds its way to a North Carolina foot. There's Elgin again. Gets it right back, Della Rose. Good defense there. Farrah Walters collapsed on that pass.
Take a look at this field. You can see all 11 Duke players behind the ball looking to close out this first half. It shows just how committed they are from top to bottom. They're defending as a unit, they're attacking as a unit. They're being patient both off and on the ball.
touch ahead for North Carolina. Nobody there, though. As you mentioned, I think Duke, with pulling everyone back, very comfortable with this 1-0 lead as we approach halftime.
You can just see the game management. Like you saw Leah Freeman just waiting to pick the ball up before Carolina stepped out, just taking more and more seconds off that clock.
Roth clears it away with under 10 seconds until halftime. And that is the first half, a 1-0.
Show up in the moment, provide that urgency, work as a team to get forward and do what they can do best by making it challenging for their opponent.
Olivia Thomas with the first touch, and the second half is underway. Tessa Della Rose sends in a long ball, so aggressive first possession here for North Carolina. But smart, right? Pulling back the reins when nothing was there. Didn't always see that in the first half. In deep. A deflection popped up into the air, and Freeman has to go up and grab it. That was about as stressful as anything she endured in the first half.
Most definitely. Freeman had to challenge for that ball and go up and claim it. Show a little bit of bravery as well. But as for Maddie Dallin, that's her bread and butter on that left flank, just attacking the byline, looking for that cutback service. If she can exploit that space here in the second half, it will create a lot of opportunity for the Tar Heels.
Della Rose with the takeaway. Now along the back line, North Carolina resets. Nice touch, Della Rose. They go up for Dallin. On the ground and swiped away by the Blue Devils. Good defense, Karina Laguerre making the play.
Even though that play didn't come off for the Tar Heels, we're seeing just better combination play, getting it, playing it, looking to probe inside, then to exploit the space on the flank. That's what they're going to see more of in order to get in behind the Blue Devils here in the second half.
Maggie Graham, center of the formation for the Blue Devils. Here's Ella Haas. Nice move to get outside of Alvarez. And it's touched off the end line. This will be a goal kick for North Carolina.
Excellent closing speed there from Avon Alvarez. She does such a good job of making the play predictable because Ella Haas is looking to serve the ball inside the 18-yard box, but Avon Alvarez is able to deflect it out for a goal kick.
Claire Gagne to midfield. Good bounce for North Carolina. Fossey with her left, right to Freeman.
See, this is the type of drive that can get Kate Fossey back into this game. She is running with speed at the back line for Duke, takes a touch inside and looks to have a shot. Doesn't test Freeman too much, but if she can gain confidence off of those runs, it'll help her become more effective.
Duke with the ball forward. Graham. Haas moves around, flicks it out in front. And that could have been dangerous, but for North Carolina, Ella Gattino, the one to clear it away.
Looked like they were caught on their back foot there. Ella Haas was able to dink one over just inside the 6-yard box, but good thing Bella Gattino was there just to clear it away. But as for the Tar Heels, they have to defend well on this corner kick.
Bebar's service headed. And a goal kick for North Carolina. Elsewhere in the ACC, we showed you at halftime, it was still 0-0 between Virginia and Virginia Tech. The Cavaliers have taken a 1-goal lead early, 12th minute, 1-0 over the Hokies. And a handball called against North Carolina here.
Looks like they're going to head to video review just to confirm whether it was inside the box. To me, it looked like an obvious handball there on Caitlin Mara. Fortunately, she's trying to make herself big, but when your arm is extended in an unnatural position, yeah, that's a clear handball.
Yeah, the elbow out, hand in. You said it, unnatural position.
Unlucky for the Tar Heels, but for Duke, this could create a little separation that will have them feeling a little bit comfortable in the second half. Just another look here at this handball on Caitlin Mara. It's Mia Minestrella that just flicks it up. And Mara has her arm extended.
Mara, it seems there as well, definitely inside the box.
You know, as a player, you can't hang your head at moments like these. Penalties happen all the time, but it's ultimately, how do you respond to it? Are you going to be the first person on the corner of the 18-yard box ready to sprint in case your goalkeeper makes a big save? This is a character test right now for the Tar Heels.
Ruling on the field confirmed. This is going to be a penalty kick for Duke. They've only taken 2 all season. Mia Minestrella hit her only opportunity. And Kat Rader hit one before she was lost for the season in those first 4 games or so.
But it will be Hannah Bebar to step up, looking to get a brace in this game.
Bebar puts it through and has a brace. 2-0 Duke.
You can see Duke's celebration. They're absolutely ecstatic. Just being up 2-0 over Carolina, but Bebar just makes no mistake. Keeps it low, and although Claire Gagne guesses the right way, she's not able to get down. And you know, when you keep it low, it gives you a good chance to score the goal. credit to B-Bar just for the way she showed up throughout this game. She's been excellent in possession and has added 2 goals to her account here tonight.
3rd goal of the season, 2nd of the evening. Olivia Thomas sprinting with it off the end line. And it'll stay down at Duke's goal, so a corner kick coming up for North Carolina.
This is a good moment for the Tar Heels to respond. A lot of goals are scored within the next 5 minutes of a goal being scored. So can Carolina make the most of this set piece opportunity?
Della Rose. With service, far post header just over the crossbar. That was a great opportunity for Caitlin Mara, perhaps a chance at redemption, and it was oh so close.
Great service by Della Rose, and Caitlin Mara finds herself on the back post with acres of space. This one you're going to want to head low and across the frame, because with an open header like that, you're going to want a moment like that back. Good response from Carolina, though. They seem to be picking one another up, looking to get back on that front foot and get in behind so they can either create set piece opportunities, corner kicks, whatever it may be. But they really have to put Freeman to the test here if they want to turn this game around.
At that ball that sent it out of bounds for the corner, it seemed like Olivia Thomas and the rest of that front few for North Carolina were running almost angrily. That feels like a good sign.
Yeah, because when you concede goals on your home turf, it should light a fire under you. As a player, if I'm on the field, I'm absolutely angry because I want to ensure that I get out there and leave everything on the field. That's what something Coach Nahas talked about in the pregame interview, coming out and leaving everything on the field. And I think there's still more to be seen from the Tar Heels.
They're certainly hoping that more is seen tonight as they trail by 2. Impressive passing on a counter for Duke. A long chip. Haas watches it out. Another goal kick for North Carolina. Estrella out. Now they go back in. Graham punched away by Gagne.
What an intelligent run by Graham. She like toes the line and runs horizontally before being slipped in behind just for a shot opportunity. But again, Gagne does a good job.
Kate Fossey, 1 shot in the second half. Tried to issue it ahead to Olivia Thomas, but a deflection, and that time, oh wow! Darlene put it off the top of the crossbar.
Darlene looks to take it herself. You'd see her really starting to get into this game and create some opportunities for herself. She gets it, takes a touch in behind, prepares her for the shot. And unfortunately for the Tar Heels, she strikes the crossbar. But again, it's a good bit of effort from Darlene just to try to make something out of nothing.
That's 2 near misses in relatively short order for North Carolina. Thomas pushes it far and puts it in, just jams it through Leah Freeman for the first North Carolina goal.
You can see the excitement there from the Carolina bench. Thomas goes to celebrate with her teammates. But that's the response that Carolina was ultimately seeking. Come comes from the flank, and Thomas finds herself good space. She just beats Duke defender to the ball, takes a touch across the box, which shifts Freeman, and then she just absolutely hammers it into the back of the net.
Since conceding that second goal on the B-bar penalty kick, North Carolina has really turned up the heat. 3 consecutive good chances. That's the first one to go through, and even though they're down a goal, Brianna, it feels like they've got the momentum at this point.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately about pride, defending your home field, ensuring that you come out with a response when you get scored on. That's the Carolina way. Just the resilience, the mental toughness, the confidence in the team to show up when the moment counts.
Ahead for Darlene. Defense catches up. Olmark, a nice move to get it back into space, and North Carolina's going to be patient.
As for Duke, being up 2 goals is never comfortable. Obviously, it was a little bit of separation for them, but they have to figure out how to continue to get back on the ball and establish that rhythm we saw earlier in the half.
Olmark loses it due to a collision. And it is called a foul against Olmark of North Carolina. So the crowd obviously unhappy with it. Meanwhile, Hannah Bebar is down.
Just a sliding effort, a loose touch from Olmark. Looks like she runs through Bebar a little bit. Maybe sells it a little bit, but either way, foul in favor of Duke. Gives them a chance to get their line up and reestablish their possession.
Fortunate for Duke because, again, North Carolina had just been peppering them the past few opportunities, and that pulls back the reins on one.
One of the biggest differences I'm noticing in the second half is how Darlene and Fossey are higher up the field, and it's allowing them to get more involved in the attack, so they're not having to cover as much ground.
Mara beats Menestrella and touches it off the inline, so this is going to be a corner for Duke, but it's a great defensive play.
Mara just stretches out just to play it out of bounds because it's a little bit of a last-ditch effort. She gets caught with the ball in behind her, but she has to turn her hips quickly and just kick it out to avoid the pressure that was oncoming.
Hannah Bebar will issue the corner kick. 2 goals. Keeps it close. Ella Rose nudges the chip shot away from the box for North Carolina's defense. Duke trying to maintain possession in their attacking third. And a whistle foul. Keeps it with North Carolina. Aiden Alvarez holding strong.
Both Aiden Alvarez and Katie Groff are local products who have played against each other before and possibly with each other at the NC Courage Academy.
North Carolina pushing it up the field. And an errant pass back to Duke. And this is just a much different looking scheme for the Tar Heels. Maybe more so than the scheme, it's just kind of the energy that you pointed to a lot throughout the first half that was seemingly lacking.
The energy that they've injected into this second half is allowing them to create opportunities for themselves. The Tar Heels have been good in their response. They haven't become unsettled by Duke's 2 goals, they look to get into those tackles and restart the attacking transition.
It was another great defensive play by Mara with the tackle to get it back for North Carolina. Darlene keeps her footing. Chased down by Oliaro, and it's a foul.
The fans do not agree with that, especially seeing one of their own, who is now a Blue Devil, Mia Oliaro, just tracking back and getting involved in that 50-50 with Maddie Darlene.
Darlene gets an explanation from Nicole Green, our referee. Still a lot of time. 31 minutes. And a 1-goal game. Nice job by Olmark to win the 50-50. Gets it right back. No numbers for North Carolina.
See, Olmark does a good job to win that 50-50, like you mentioned, but then dribbles into 4. Once you secure the ball, can she find a pass? I think that might have been a moment to reset the ball, because, again, we're seeing Carolina revert to the first half habits where there's 3 attackers and maybe 6 Duke defenders, and the rest of the team 15, 20 yards behind the ball. For the Carolina midfield, there's a box between the 2 central in the line of 4 and the 2 that are above them. And for that box midfield, if they can travel together as a unit, it will allow them 3 other options whenever they get the ball so that they can retain possession.
Duke with Ella Haas out wide. More great defense. Alvarez slides and prevents a cross to enter the box. It will be another corner.
This will be the 5th corner for Duke. So far, nothing to show for them, but they've been good serving the box.
B-Bar lofts it. Good coverage by North Carolina. Clears it outside of the box. Groff sends it back in, off Della Rose, and Gagne comes off of her line to grab it.
Good positioning there from Della Rose, just to remain in between the ball and the player. She also does a good job using her body just to deflect that header that came off of the Duke attacker.
Olmark looking to sneak it ahead to Thomas. Nikki Chico working it on that right side. It was so effective in the early going in the first half for Duke. One touch too far from her body for Thomas. Chance to get it right back, but a lot of defenders in blue. Roller too strong on the pass. Nice touch by Alvarez. Fossey dishes it back. Ari and the guy will reset for North Carolina.
Starting to see Carolina get that patience back.
Well, I think the reality is, Brianna, this is a game, right? I mean, that PK went in to make it 2-0, and that's the point at which in games you can see it go either way, right? It's heads toward the ground. It is, okay, well, it's going to take a lot to climb out of this. Or you can instantly react the way North Carolina did, grab a goal to get one of them back. And now you're working for most of the second half with just a 1-goal game again.
Yeah, I'd say that Carolina's done a good job just responding in a positive nature. I think what the culture is all about is, like, obviously no game's going to go the way you expect it to or the way you want it to every time, but it's ultimately how do you take that adversity and learn from it. They've been down before, and as you saw in the Florida State game, in that first half they were down a couple goals, managed to even out the score, but can you learn from that game and take it into this match against Duke and figure out how to get the go-ahead goal?
Graham with the ball ahead for Haas, and again Caitlin Mara is there to sweep it away. Just
good read by Caitlin Mara just to slide. The timing of the tackle is good as well. Puts it into play and allows Carolina to reset their defense.
Out off of Fossey. Applying the pressure there defensively for North Carolina. And a whistle, a little bit of confusion. There was an extra ball thrown in momentarily. Looks like we're going to play it live, though. Lynch goes wide for Oliaro, and now Duke will control. This touch.
We heard Duke saying, Karina, keep it, but even though she lost the ball in possession when she played it to a teammate, she's first to win it back, and she's been absolutely excellent. Just her work rate across that midfield, getting on the ball, changing the point, being a player that Duke can rely on throughout this match.
Olmark applying pressure, comes away with the takeaway. Darlene unable to turn around with it.
In that moment for Darlene, just knowing the space around you, checking your shoulder to see that incoming pressure.
Lynch, one tap. Laguerre ahead, tried to get it right back, but it's taken away by North Carolina. Ball ahead, Thomas has it at her feet. Inside move with her left, and it's just wide.
That attack starts with Bella Gattino just to win it, step in with the urgency, with conviction, plays a great ball out to Olivia Thomas, who finds herself in isolation. This is her bread and butter when she's attacking. Duke is jockeying into their box. She takes her touch inside and looks to hit that back post. Just sails just wide because she doesn't get the bend on it that she needs, but that's the right look that Carolina is looking for here in the second half.
That could have just as easily tied it up at 2 with under 24 minutes to go.
One of the things I loved about that last play, even though you didn't see it in the frame, was how Bella Gattino continued her run and sprinted all the way into the box for the off chance that if Freeman is forced to make a save, she would be there for that rebound.
North Carolina unable to settle it. Chico ahead, Laguerre. Oliaro's way, one touch, chip shot, headed and in! Oliaro to Maggie Graham, and Duke scores another.
What excellent service from Mia Oliaro. She has either scored or assisted in 8 consecutive matches. Just excellent texture of the ball, just looping it into the box on that back post of the 6-yard box. Again, just look at how she gets under it. And it's Maggie Graham who makes no mistake, heads it home to put Duke up 3-1.
That's such a tough placement if you are putting yourself in the shoes of the North Carolina goalkeeper, Claire Gagne, because it's that in-between, right? You've got to make a snap decision to either sit back or go up and get it. And that split second can make the difference, right?
That little bit of indecisiveness can be the difference between getting scored on or preventing a big chance. As for Claire Gagne, can she come out and punch it? Being brave there. But again, it comes back to the back line with Carolina.
They're taking a second look at this to make sure Maggie Graham or
Mia Minestrella,
was
looks good to me. But it looks like Avon Alvarez got caught ball watching a little bit because Maggie Graham found herself in between 2 Carolina defenders with no real pressure and is able to head it home. Goals on the season for Maggie Graham. Again, Coach Church talks about the evolution of her game and how she's an ultimate competitor. She's someone who embodies the Blue Devil nature all of her years here because she's able to come in and make a difference, whether that's goals or assists, and 10 goals on the season is something to be said.
That goes along with Mia Oliaro's 11th assist of the season. You said it coming into this one, 8 consecutive games having scored or assisted a goal. Make it 9 for the former Tar Heel. Haas takes it away and clears it out. Fossey too strong on the initial touch, gives it right back to Duke. Thomas, a frantic run into space. Long touch, but North Carolina's going to regain it with Alvarez. Tried the backdoor pass.
We're seeing a lot of space there in the midfield for the Blue Devils just to, again, find passes without any real pressure. Carolina can lock it on the flank and make things predictable and press as a unit, because with 21 minutes and some change left on the clock, you need to put all force forward.
Karina Laguerre gets free. Pass ahead is snuffed out by Gagne. Fossey out for Dela Rose. North Carolina trailing by 2. Substitutions for both sides now for Duke, and Farrah Walters back in. She closed out the last handful of minutes in the first half. Bella Simber in for Linda Olmark for North Carolina. Evelyn Shores back in as well. She made her season debut in the first half.
Bella Ember and Evelyn Shores are two players who can flip this game on its head. Just need a good moment with some space on top of the box because they can both shoot from distance. Coming into this game, you want to solidify that starting role and prove to the coaching staff why you should be on the field. So can they step the level up and compete within the team to bring more energy into the second half?
Here's Shores. Sends it out wide. Alvarez. Inside. Shores' pass right back to her. Elgin creates space, gets it to Della Rose. Right through the middle. Thomas.
I love that bit of hold-up play from Olivia Thomas, using her weight just to hold off the defender. She prepares the touch just to get it a little bit to the side so she can look to have that shot, just whipping it in behind. But again, she's under the ball, but it's the right idea there from Olivia Thomas.
Gattino jumps a pass again. This time Shores. One touch from Thomas. Fossey. Angle was cut off. Here's Alvarez, the cross on the ground. Thomas unable to regain it. North Carolina still with it.
You're seeing the rest defense of Carolina right now. They are stepping their numbers up and securing the box around. As I was saying earlier, they are getting numbers up so that they can regain it right away. We're starting to see Duke's defenders just drop back a little bit, so they're not as much of a threat higher up the field.
Yeah, North Carolina with Alvarez there on the pass to Fossey. I mean, that's as far up as she's played consistently. And now they'll reset. Mara. Della Rose streaking. Goes to Darlene. Great move to get by one defender, but stopped by Nikki Chico in the box. And there you go. They get it right back, pushing the numbers forward.
Continuing to change the point of attack is going to be huge for Carolina because it will shift Duke's defense. They're in a compact unit right now with two lines of four.
Della Rose strong to withhold just a moment ago against Chico. And now Duke pushing forward. B-bar. A pass ahead. Graham. Nowhere to go but backward. B-bar one touch. Laguerre. Thomas out to Oliaro. And they will reset. Duke has not had a chance to do this in quite some time.
Duke looks like a well-oiled machine who knows how they want to play. Again, I mentioned how patient they are in the attack, but their spacing off the ball and their movement to help each other has really been impressive. And just the rhythm that they're showing allows them to create isolation on the flank, like we saw with the Maggie Graham goal sent in from Mia Oliaro. But it shows the experience of Coach Church. He's been there for a long, long time, and he knows what these matchups are like playing against Carolina at Carolina. And Duke stood up to the test. They've showed up tonight. They've been on their front foot. They've been calm. They've enjoyed the moment, and they've made the most of their opportunities.
Lynch sends it into the box. Weakly hit header. No trouble for Gagne. Now approaching 15 minutes left to play. North Carolina down 2. And Duke with some fresh legs. Julia Sonicheva in for Devin Lynch. Duke escapes a frantic situation there. Haas unable to handle it inbounds. And a pause for a substitution. Penny back in. Della Rose, who feels like she's been all over the place in this second half in particular for North Carolina.
Tessa Della Rose has an incredible engine. She's one of the fittest, if not the fittest player on this roster, even in program history, setting the beep test record in preseason. She's someone who navigates that midfield so well because she covers the ground, wins tackles, and helps Carolina in possession.
Nice passing by the Blue Devils. Much like we've seen for the entire contest. Sonicheva centers it back up. That one taken away. Thomas against 3. Sidesteps 1. Puts it up and over. And she immediately goes to the ground, perhaps to stretch out a cramp.
In that last moment, we saw Thomas dribbling at top speed, but the angle of her approach was taking her away from the goal, which leads her into an unbalanced shot. I'd be curious to see if she could stop the ball, show a little bit of deception with like a pump feint or something like that, and then deciding to go at them again, because creating separation at this level is all about change of speed and change of direction. So if she's running at one pace in behind, it's easy for Duke to get numbers behind the ball and sort of slow it down.
Duke ahead by 2 has already locked up that #1 seed in the ACC standings. As a reminder, entering tonight, North Carolina was up for that second spot. These are the live standings, so as it currently stands, they the #4, Stanford battling for that last spot.
As it currently stands, this would mean if Carolina were to finish in 4th and then start the ACC tournament and win that quarterfinal, they would find Duke in the semifinal next week.
A touch out for North Carolina. Penny unable to get it through the clutter of Duke defenders. North Carolina pitching. Under 13 minutes left. Tar Heels trail by 2. Simber opens it up for Darlene, who swipes it across the front of the net.
Just the right idea there from Darlene, just to square it across the box, but you've only got one runner crashing the box. Great ball from Bella Simber, just so perfectly weighted, but can Darlene maybe take another touch to that byline and cut it back on an angle, because then that would allow Fossey to get on the end of it.
Fossey applying the pressure, creates the takeaway for North Carolina. Here's Shores. Now Alvarez. Shores lost her touch. Had it taken away. Gattino there. She and Laguerre of Duke both hit the ground. And it's going to be ruled to stay with North Carolina.
Gattino stands on top of it, looking to restart the ball and get Carolina's attack going again. Although she didn't start tonight, she's been someone who's showing that passion and that heart that Carolina needs. She's getting into tackles and she's showing that she cares and wants to win this game. We saw that with her streaking effort up the field where she got it to Olivia Thomas and tried to get in behind to be on the end of a possible service or a rebound.
After jumping the pass just outside of the box, I mean, she traveled a long way. As we just alluded to, those live standings in the ACC, Wake Forest winners, that has gone final 3-0 over NC State. Brianna, we've mentioned a few times the opportunity for, if things stay the way they are. Mara defending Graham, pokes it away. Duke's going to keep its chance here. Graham on the ground. And there it goes to mid-pitch. If things stay the way they are, a quarterfinal win for North Carolina means a repeat of this matchup. Again, we're assuming a lot with 9 minutes left. If you've played a team twice, you've lost to a team twice. Who does that favor the third time around?
Third time must be the charm. Yeah, you know, you've got to learn from the 2 previous matches and figure out a way to do something differently. But again, I think it comes down to it's a rivalry, so Carolina will be upset about conceding these goals to Duke, especially on their home field. So as for Duke, they've made a convincing performance. They've shown just how well constructed they are from top to bottom. And they've also been able to execute under pressure, and I feel like those moments have come and gone for Carolina at times.
Top of the box, Darlene out for Alvarez. Sharp angle, crosses it, out of bounds. Olmark, Thomas, and Della Rose back on for North Carolina after quick breathers.
We're in our final 7.5 minutes, and Duke has only been forced to make 2 saves. So for Carolina, can they get more shots up? Even if it's a half opportunity with a tight window, get the shots up and then crush the box to see if you can get the rebound.
Thomas too strong, trying to square up. Fossey pokes it away. For Thomas, a touch ahead. Darlene cuts underneath, and Freeman squeezes it.
Just a good slashing run from Darlene just to get in front of the Duke defender. That was Nikki Chico, and has a shot on frame, but Leah Freeman is there just to claim it with a commanding presence.
No lack of chances for North Carolina. But perhaps you pointed to it, that was just Leah Freeman's third save, which feels a number too low for the opportunities that the Tar Heels have had.
But it's a testament to how well Duke has defended this game. They've limited opportunities in behind for the Tar Heels and have kept tight lines within their back three. Again, that's Nikki Chico, Katie Groff, and Cameron Roller, just showing the experience they have on Duke's back line and leading this group.
Kate Fossey making a run for North Carolina. Can she get by Roller? It's deflected and out for a North Carolina corner kick.
Kate Fossey's driving at Duke's defense. They're trying to make it obvious by forcing her to her right foot, which is her favorite foot, but it cuts down the angle for Leah Freeman to cover.
And it is a goal kick for Freeman. I misspoke.
Ultimately, that sliding effort isn't the highest percentage shot she could get. If she could just slow down her feet and then maybe pick out a corner or continue her drive forward,
yeah,
perhaps other options would make themselves available.
Ella Haas catches up to Linda Olmark. Hard tackle, and this is going to get a card issued to Bella Gattino.
Gattino's just late here, makes a sliding effort, and absolutely cleans out Farrah Walters. Shows a little bit of frustration late in this game.
Fossey ahead for Thomas. Duke, too many bodies there. I mean, with 2 goals up, 3.5 minutes to play. They are retreating into their defense. Cross in for Thomas. Still in the box. Header is in. Far post. Kate Fossey pulls it within 1.
Look at that from Kate Fossey, sprinting to get the ball back immediately after getting this header. Great service from Maddie Darlene. Kate Fossey's found space at the back post and heads it home. Carolina gets the second goal. Can they rally for the third?
Team high 12th goal of the season for Fossey. And that changes the complexion of this final 2 minutes, 50 seconds. It looked like North Carolina was about to wave the white flag. Some seniors had lined up to possibly check in at midfield. They have gone back to the bench, and now the Tar Heels are going to give it a final go. Not until we get a second look at this.
Nicole Green heads to the box to get a video review to see if Fossey is offside. Doesn't look like it to me. She looks like clear onside and a goal for Carolina.
So that should stand.
But Carolina has been in this position before earlier in the season where they've shown these late comebacks. They're capable of it if they've got the heart, the mentality, the will, and the drive to make something out of nothing. As for Duke, it's about game management. You want to limit your risk, keep the ball out of your defensive half, and possibly even start to taking it to the corner. Because when you take it to the opposite end of the corner, it's really difficult for the Tar Heels to win it back and get to the other end of the field.
I think, Brianna, this situation, if we were to say that, you know, the roles were reversed, I think this situation favors North Carolina because they've had quick opportunities. Duke's attack has been much more deliberate and based on possession. So it is an uphill battle, no doubt, but North Carolina should feel pretty good about this.
North Carolina is definitely going to have to throw all their numbers forward to try and get that equalizer. For Duke, they're going to have to be incredibly disciplined, keeping numbers between the ball and then the goal. And we even saw that. They had good numbers inside their box, but it was poor marking that allowed Kate Fossey to find herself free inside the 18-yard box.
Fossey quick to pick it up and throw in. Mara reverses the field. Elgin pushing forward. Nice touch to get around a defender. .203 left on the clock. Duke's in a low block. Walters trying to race it forward for Duke. Across that thin back line for North Carolina. Simber has it touched away.
Carolina was looking for the foul, but Nicole Green played advantage.
Ella Rose a brick wall. Second chance for Duke. Caught by Gattino and pushed forward. Duke's in no hurry to get to the ball for the throw-in. Alvarez steps inside. Elgin, long, over Thomas's head. Chased down in the corner. Fossey kept it in, but then out at the sideline. Just 40 seconds to play. Haas overthrows the throw in. Thomas has it punched away. Good control by Groff. Good step-up header by Oliaro. Elgin to the corner, kicks it back. Darlene into the box, but no one there. Under 10 seconds remaining for North Carolina. Alvarez on the ground, back out. And that is the game.